Coming up next, live coverage of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Irondequoit's government access channel.
Good evening. I now call to order the regular town board meeting, December 15, 2016. Visitors are invited to join the board to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Here.
Councilwoman Hush-LaRae.
Here.
Councilman Perdicone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Supervisor Seeley.
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Good evening. We have a modest agenda tonight, and I do thank the board members and the staff for making the trip. As I'm talking, I hear the humming of snowplows at my back, and at this moment we have pretty significant weather outside, and our crews are hard at work, and I hope people are in the comfort of their home watching this on TV versus driving around town, and either way, it's the business of government goes on, so we are here tonight. A few announcements just as before we begin our body of work, and I'll note we have a public hearing at 7:35, which I also have already committed to keeping open for next month given the inclement weather. So with the weather in mind, I'll just remind the residents that the winter parking ordinance is in effect between the hours of midnight and 9 a.m., and that goes until April 15th. The reason for the ordinance are many. From a practical point of view, it allows our plow operators to navigate the street in a safer manner as well as a more efficient manner. This gets the streets plowed quicker and ultimately reduces the cost of snow removal. So I thank residents in advance for their cooperation, and also asked residents to consider off-street parking outside of the hours of the ordinance as well at all times possible. And furthermore, when you do park in your driveway, please keep the sidewalk plows in mind and attempt not to block the sidewalk. A reminder that town offices will be closed Monday, December 26th and Monday, January 2nd. I'll note the town clerk's office will be open the morning of Saturday, December 31st, in order to provide residents with the ability to pay their 2017 tax bill in advance, a convenience that historically has been offered. On Friday, December 20th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., the Irondequoit Library will be hosting an open enrollment counseling for the New York State Healthcare Marketplace. Residents may register for a 1-hour session with a certified application counselor who can assist you in enrolling for health insurance. Again, registration is required, and reservations may be made by calling 336-6060. On Wednesday, January 11th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., I hope residents will join me and Deputy Supervisor Perdicone in donating blood at Town Hall. Deputy Supervisor Perdicone just realized he'd volunteered. We conduct a handful of blood drives every year with the Red Cross, and we're always appreciative of the great participation that we have. Call 336-6034 to schedule an appointment, or email supervisor@irondequoit.org. Again, that's January 11th. For those of you who watch our meetings live, whether here at Town Hall or at home on ICAT, please take notice that our meeting schedule will move to Tuesdays next year. Workshops will fall on the second Tuesday of each month. Regular town board meetings will fall on the third Tuesday. For those of you who visit Town Hall on summer months, on Thursdays, this will be a welcome change and relieve some congestion. I want to thank all the residents who came to Town Hall for the annual tree lighting ceremony last week. It was attended by hundreds of residents and provided a nice kickoff to the holiday season. There were activities at the library, and then, of course, the lighting of the tree in the gazebo, which is on display till the end of the holiday season. And I thank Santa Claus for his help in lighting the tree, as my first attempt failed. And I'll also thank the library staff, the Parks Rec staff, and our wonderful town historian, Patricia Wayne, for their help putting on the event. The ice rink outside is freezing as we speak. It's getting there, and I hope we can have it open in advance of Christmas. Please check the town website. We won't open it until it's safe, completely frozen. Not only is the rink back for its third year, but we have doubled in size, and we will also be offering skate rental for a small fee for the first time this year on a limited basis. The use of the ice rink is free of charge to anyone, even non-residents, and is open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., weather permitting again. Last year, we had some more mild weather. This year points to many, many happy evenings at the ice skating rink. Earlier this year, the town, in conjunction with earlier this week, the town, in conjunction with many community partners, including Chief Tantillo, announced the formation of the Drug-Free Irondequoit Together Coalition, or as we shorten it, the DEFI Coalition, DFI Together Coalition. This coalition includes parents, teachers, drug addiction and prevention organizations, our 3 school systems, Eastridge, Irondequoit High School, and Bishop Kearney, our faith community and other community groups to promote healthy lifestyles, provide resources for parents and students, and ultimately remove the stigma attached to drug use. It aims to educate the community about the growing dangers of drug addiction, especially with the growing opiate heroin crisis that we see spreading throughout America. I recently read that for the first time ever, heroin overdoses actually exceed the number of gun homicides in America. I believe grassroots community solutions are the best to deal with a problem such as this. There's going to be significant community outreach by the coalition. It is going to be an inclusive group, and we will do a lot of that over the next year. If you're interested in learning more, or our hope is to participate in the group or become involved in the group, please call Patrick Pinkerton in my office at 336-6034. The Irondequoit Rotary is working to promote reading throughout the town of Irondequoit with the installation of Little Free Libraries. Little Free Libraries are free take-a-book, give-a-book exchange sites meant to encourage learning and promote community interaction. These freestanding structures are typically placed in front yards, gardens, and parks and hold anywhere from 20 to 100 books, offering a place for residents to share their favorite pieces of literature. I've started to see these grow and proliferation throughout town, and they really are a wonderful resource and good to connect neighbors. And we had a few of our neighborhood enhancement program proposals that were to place those in the neighborhood. So ultimately, we will have one in every neighborhood for residents to use, hopefully. For more information, please call 224-5819 or IRON_Rotary at yahoo.com. And I'll note the deadline to apply is January 31st. And finally, Winterfest will be held on Saturday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Town Hall. You can cure your winter blues with free outdoor family fun. You can tell I cut and paste this one off the press release, but come enjoy our ice skating rink, horse-drawn wagon rides, a petting zoo, photo booth, and DJ and balloon twisting, craft vendors, food trucks, Home Depot, Woodcraft, and more. And, of course, Councilman Wayner's favorite, the special plucky pup guest, Sky and Chase. And thus concludes our pre-meeting announcements. We had some ceremonial items, which we are now going to postpone until January. And with that, we will do public input. I do not see anyone signed up for public input. Would anyone in the audience wish to address the board at this time? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
The financial report, please.
Oh, excuse me. The financial report, Comptroller Seeley.
The 2016 financial results for the town as of November 30th, 2016. Total expenditures and encumbrances are $27,907,000, or 81.6% of budget, which is lower than the 91.7% of the year that has elapsed. The variance consists of $26,594,000 of actual expenditures, as well as $1,313,000 of encumbrances. The encumbrances are 3.8% of budget, indicating that there are services yet to be performed or billed, or supplies and commodities not yet received or billed. Expenses in the general fund are also 81.6% of budget, $16,470,000, below the percent of the year that has elapsed. The breakdown in that fund is actual expenditures, $15,827,000, and $643,000 of encumbrances. The highway fund expenses of $4,539,000 remain below the percent of the year that has elapsed at 86.4%. Contributing to the favorable effect is it's a $100,000 unencumbrance of fuel cost in Highway 1 due to lower than budgeted fuel prices. Even though the overall highway is favorable, notable encumbrances still remain for gas, fuel, and asphalt in Highway 1, equipment, parts, and debt service in Highway 3, and salt in Highway 4. The library expenses are $1,949,000, below budget at 85.2%, and it includes a $429,000 bond anticipation note cost. It includes $429,000 of bond anticipation note costs. The sewer fund has expended $3,238,000, 75% of budget. Stormwater drainage expenses total $740,000, 69.9% of budget. As of the end of November, the general fund has recorded $17,142,000 of revenue, 86.8% of budget. The major general fund revenues received to date are 100% of real estate tax, $10.6 million, 102% of pilot revenue of $193,000, pilot payment in lieu of taxes, sales tax of $2,536,000, representing 8 months, 68.9% of that budget. 25% of mortgage tax of $180,000 for 3 months of activity. The total annual per capita state aid of $613,000 and 53.3% of franchise cable TV revenue, $373,000. Recreation program fees remain favorable to budget at 95.3%, currently in the amount of $286,000. The total town summary after 11 months, total revenue for the town is $29.8 million, 91.2% of budget. The total revenue, along with appropriated fund balances, total $30.8 million, 91.4% of budget. Real estate taxes total $16.5 million across funds and are all in. The library has received 99.3% of revenue, $2,274,000. Highway has recorded $5,096,000, 97.1% of revenue. Sewer has collected 100.9% of its revenue budget, a total of $4.3 million. Included in the year-to-date revenue for the Seabreeze Water District is approximately 8 months of activity. It is the timing of the billing cycles and revenue collection periods that cause Seabreeze Water to be at 84.5% of budget, thereby lowering the total percent of revenue received to only 91%. This concludes my financial report as of the end of November.
Thank you, Comptroller Seeley. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to approve the financial report.
Move.
And second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Financial report is accepted.
Approval of minutes, November 3rd, 2016, the special town board meeting.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
I'll abstain.
All those in favor say aye with Councilwoman Barner's abstention.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved.
November 10th, 2016, the workshop meeting.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
November 10th, 2016, the special town board public hearing meeting.
Motion, please.
Move.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor say aye. Aye.
One abstention.
Abstain.
Okay, Councilman Weiner and Councilwoman Hushler abstain.
November 17th, 2016, the regular town board meeting.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, we're
Items
going to
for
skip over
board-
the public hearing and move on to items for board action with the assessor. Sorry, Madam Clerk.
That is okay. Item number 2, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a contract with AVS Inc.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, these next two resolutions relate to our upcoming town reevaluation. I call on our town assessor, Enza Maniello, for an explanation.
Okay, the first one is for the supervisor entering a contract with AVS Incorporated. We do a annual review of the assessments, commercial properties and residential properties. This is to continuously an effort to keep us at an equitable role. So we use the assistance of AVS to calculate data and review values throughout the town as far as that goes. The next
Can I just stop? And
Yep.
I think I misspoke. This is an annual.
This one
service we
is, this is
consult
just the
with.
maintenance one,
All
right?
right, we'll take up this vote, and I'll call on you for the next resolution to
Okay.
explain, okay? Any questions or comments on this particular resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 3, authorizing the assessor to undertake and implement an update to the 2018 assessment roll.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Weiner. Enzo?
Okay, so this is the one, this is the resolution that authorizes me to the assessor to undertake and implement the assessment roll for 2018. Again, reviewing the values every year, we look at, and we're in a need to do an update, we call that. Section 305 of New York State Real Property Tax Law mandates that we keep a uniform and equitable roll. In order to do that, we have to undertake this valuation project for 2018. And this is just saying that I'm going to be doing this in-house, and the board is aware that we're undertaking this project, and this is approval for that.
Thanks. Any
Please.
questions or comments? I'll just note, this is really the first board action taken relevant to the 2018 reevaluation. It'll be a lengthy process, most of which will take place next year. It will not affect the 2018 town budget, but rather the 2019 town budget, but we will go through the exercise in 2017. It's going to be a public process. We look forward to having a number of public community sessions. We want to make sure we're educating and being transparent about this process. And I believe at next month's workshop, Enza's going to be giving a presentation to the board, which we will certainly make available on our town multimedia resources, but also schedule a number of public meetings to inform people on the process. I myself have a new homeowner within the past 10 years, so I've not been through this, as I'm sure a lot of homeowners in town, so we want to make sure we're proactive in educating people about the process. With that, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 4, authorizing the adoption of the 2017 Arundequoit Planning Board workshop and meeting schedule.
Motion
Moved.
and a second?
Second.
I'll just explain these next three resolutions as once. This is the meeting schedule for our planning board, zoning board, and conservation boards. They are boards appointed by the town board that provide a valuable service for our town, and we're grateful for the folks who serve on those boards, a labor of love, as I say. So the first resolution would set the 2017 planning board schedule. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 5, approving the adoption of the 2017 Arundequoit Zoning Board of Appeals meeting schedule.
Motion,
Moved.
a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 6, approving the adoption of the 2017 Arundequoit Conservation Board meeting schedule.
Motion,
Moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 7, authorizing the supervisor to sign a contract for professional planning services associated with the Arundecoyt Bay Outlet Bridge Alternatives Analysis Study.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
I'll call on Planning Administrator Carrie Ivers for an explanation, please.
Thank you. A few months ago, the town of Arundecoyt issued an RFP, which is a request for proposals, to undertake the study that you just described. We followed our procurement policy, as well as the Genesee Transportation Council's rules for procurement. We received 5 qualified proposals. We conducted series of interviews with each of the proposing teams. We then proceeded to shortlist and invite 2 firms to interview in person with the selection committee. And we are happy to announce that we unanimously selected Fisher Associates and their team to undertake this study.
Thanks, Carrie. I'll just say a few things. The study is the culmination of a number of years' effort by a lot of stakeholders, government, business, community stakeholders with an interest in exploring a 12-month solution down at the Bay Outlet. For a number of years, myself and others have stood at the Bay Outlet on November 1st and lamented that it is opening yet only for a handful of the months. Our goal at first, and this was an effort of previous Supervisor Bello along with the board and town administration, was to gather a coalition of stakeholders together, and I'm pretty happy to say that that coalition now consists of every government agency that has oversight or representation of both Arundecoyt, Webster, Penfield, Arundecoyt, Webster mainly. The Webster Town Administration has been very supportive. Our colleagues in Monroe County, the county legislature, the state assembly, state senate, United States Congress, United States Senate, as well as the regulatory agencies, have all been supportive in getting us to this point. And the goal of this is to engage the community, to use science and the marriage of the two, seeing what the community wants and the community's needs are versus what capacity we have to provide a potential 12-month alternative at the bridge. And I'm happy to say that Fisher Associates was one of 5 firms that came in and emerged to the top. We were very impressed with their passion for the project, the history that some of their principals on the project have with the Bay Outlet Bridge. Roseanne Schmidt is here from Fisher Associates, and she's serving as lead on the project, and we look forward to working with her. And this will be a very comprehensive process, as always condensed into about 9 months. So I'm sure once we adopt this resolution, Roseanne is going to go home and start work, hit the ground running, so to speak. But we thank them for their interest and look forward to working with the team that they've assembled. Any questions or comments?
Dave, there's a lot of community involvement, community engagement in the plan?
Yeah, and that was really critical to the application. We wanted the teams to describe their public engagement strategy. We looked to them to work with a steering committee that we will work with the consultant on developing. That steering committee's job is to engage with the broader stakeholder population, residents, business community, people who use the bay for boating. Really, the whole salad bar, as I say. So it's exhaustive, but it's what we need to go through to really learn how we can balance the needs of everyone to get a potential 12-month solution. Any other questions?
Nope.
And I'll thank Councilman Wayner for sitting on the review committee along with Ms. Ivers, Lauren Kelly, Comptroller Seeley, as well as our friends from the Genesee Transportation Council and the County of Monroe. Hearing no further questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item
Roseanne.
number 8, calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend Town Code Chapter 235, Article 3, Interpretation of District Boundaries.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
I'm now actually going to call on, I'm going to table this for the time being, and we'll come back to it at the end. So please move on to item number 9. Madam Clerk.
Item number 9, authorizing the award of refuge and recycling collection services for various Town of Arundecoit facilities.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Mr. Sinton, an explanation, please.
Our current waste hauler contract for the town facilities expires this coming December 31st. This is a resolution authorizing the award of a new contract. Bid packages were actually received and opened up yesterday. We did receive 2 bids.
Thank you, Mr. Sinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 10, authorizing the purchase of one 2017 Ford van with service utility body and the budget transfer necessary for this expenditure.
Motion
Moved.
and a second. Second. Commissioner Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The resolution before the town board this evening is to transfer some monies within the highway budget in an effort to purchase a new vehicle. Truck number 156 is a 2006 Ford E350 van with 40,000 miles that is currently not doing very well for us at this time. It has several different mechanical issues. Currently, cold start issues, has to be jump started every morning, and there's some significant carriage rot to the vehicle itself. Thus, we're looking to replace this vehicle via the General Municipal Law 104. We did authorize the mini bid, which was opened. That mini bid was awarded to Van Bortle Ford in the amount of $52,868.27 for the purchase of one new 2017 Ford E350 van.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 11, authorizing the supervisor to execute an agreement for Monroe County Snow and Ice for 2016-17 season.
Motion? And a second.
Second.
Mr. Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you. This agreement is an annual agreement between the town of Arundecoit and the county of Monroe for snow and ice removal. On nights like this, our DPW workforce is out hard at work clearing both town, county, and state roads. So this agreement for the 16-17 season is for an agreement between the town and the county for snow and ice removal. The lane miles within this town are currently at 87.205 lane miles. That's a reduction from last year. Last year we had 89.658 lane miles. Moreover, and the biggest change that we see within the snow and ice contract is the actual per lane mile, a dollar amount. After several very, very difficult winters, those prices generally rise. Last year's snow season 15-16 was very light, and as we expected, the price per lane mile will be reduced. In 2015-16, the price per lane mile was $4,042. In 2016-17 snow and ice season, that will be reduced to $3,758. That is a computation, an average over the last 3 years, and it fluctuates from year to year. So this is right within line of where prior years have been, which range between $3,400 and $4,000 per lane mile.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 12, authorizing the award of uniforms for the Department of Community Services.
Motion?
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hushler-Ray. Mr. Kylie, an explanation, please.
Thank you. Per our CSCA blue-collar workforce, the town of Arundecoit, of course, has a contract with said workforce. Within their contract, the town provides monies to be allocated for uniforms for the workforce. In prior years, We actually put out to bid for uniforms for the workforce. United Uniform won that contract, and this resolution before the town board tonight would ratify the one-year extension for that contract to continue with that service.
Thank you, Commissioner Kiley. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 13, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for senior recreational programming for 2017.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thanks, Pete. Deputy Commissioner Sinton, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. These are contracts that were available for board review at the recent workshop for senior programming, and they're annual contracts for this coming 2017 program year.
Thanks, Don. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 14, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for youth and family programming for winter-spring 2017.
Motion? Moved. And a second?
Second.
Deputy Commissioner Sinton.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Just as similar to the previous resolution, this is in authorizing you to enter into contracts for some youth and vendor programming, and with the exception that this is for the winter and spring and not annual contracts, and these were available for board review at the recent workshop.
Thanks, Don. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 15, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a new contract with vendor for the town's 2017 Winterfest celebration.
Save the fun one for last. A motion
Moved.
and a second?
Second.
Mr. Sinton?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Yes, this is for our upcoming Winterfest. At a recent board meeting you were authorized to enter into contracts with some of the vendors that will be there. One of them had to cancel, specifically a petting zoo. We were able to find another one, and this is that contract, which was also available for board review.
Yes, and this one contains vendors such as Wowie, Joy and Blessing with Shamila, and services such as Paw Patrol characters, wax hand castings, horse-drawn wagon rides, outdoor petting zoo, balloon twisting, and DJ and music entertainment. So a festive resolution. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 16, establishing the 2017 holiday schedule for all Town of Arundecoit employees.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
This resolution is self-explanatory. It sets our holiday schedule for the upcoming year. And any questions or comments from myself or Mr. Vanette? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 17, authorizing the reimbursement of tuition.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
I'll call on Jason Vanette for an explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As the resolution states, this is to reimburse the tuition at an 80% rate according to town policy for one course at Empire State College. For full disclosure, that course is being taken by myself, and it's performance management and total rewards. This is the third course out of 4 for my graduate certificate.
Thank you, and we're always encouraging our staff here to enhance their academic pursuits relevant to their job. So I'm happy to support this resolution. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 18, ratifying the Nightstick PBA unit contract.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a
Second.
second. Thank you, Councilwoman Hushley. I'll explain this, and Mr. Vanette can add anything, or Chief as well, if he so pleases. This is a 3-year contract with our the union members of our police department, the Nightstick Club. I will note that Mike DiGiovanni, Lieutenant Mike DiGiovanni, who is the union president, the Nightstick Club president, noted that this is the first time in quite some time he can remember the contract was unanimously approved by the membership, and also the first time in quite some time that a contract was arrived at before the effective date of the contract. So we were able to start over the summer and have a good dialogue with the police department, and I want to commend Chief Tantillo for his leadership, Lieutenant DiGiovanni for his leadership, and Mr. Vinette, and also Deputy Supervisor Perticone for serving as the board liaison during the negotiations. And I'll say that the contract is fair. The salary increases are a balance between investing in the police force and also making sure that we're able to live within our means. And I'm happy that our friends in the union were able to recognize that, and we had a very honest conversation. Ultimately, I think we are able to protect the taxpayers while maintaining the police department as a priority. And, you know, I think over the years we've come to value the police department and show proof of that in our budgets, particularly with investments in equipment, police vehicles. And I think the good rapport with the police officers during the contract negotiations were reflected in that. So personally, I'd like to thank all those involved, and I'm very happy at the outcome and the good relationship we maintain with the police department, and hopefully this is a signal to how much we value the good work that they do on behalf of the community. Chief, anything to add?
Well, as you mentioned, it's been a long time since we've seen a relationship like that. I've been here 34 years, and I've never seen a unanimous vote associated with a collective bargaining agreement. So kudos to you and Deputy Supervisor Perticone for the work that was done there.
Thanks. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted, and I believe we now have to revert back to our public hearing. I see the clerk over there pointing that out to me, and I will now call on her to call up the public hearing.
Okay. Public hearing 12 PH 2016-1 on the matter of granting a special use permit to convert commercial space into a multifamily apartment building on premises at 2012 East Ridge Road in a C Business District.
Thank you. I have a motion to open the hearing.
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hearing is open. I will now call on Planning and Zoning Administrator Carrie Ivers for an explanation.
Thank you, Supervisor. The special use permit is required under town code because it represents multifamily development in a C business district. The applicant, the structure where this is being anticipated is currently a mixed-use building in that it has commercial retail space on the first floor and residential development or residential unit up above on the second. The applicant had submitted this special use permit anticipating a renovation of the building to allow for 2 dwelling units to be located in the building. The applicant is not here today. I don't know if that's a case of inclement weather, and so my suggestion would be that we maintain the public hearing open to the next meeting.
Which we were inclined to do, given the weather as well. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Carrie.
One other note is that the planning board has yet to render its referral to this board. They were wanting to get some additional information from the applicant with respect to some of the site plan related issues, particularly parking.
And forgive me if you don't have this information. Is the applicant proposing a build-out or a rehabilitation of the structure?
Just an interior, it would be an interior remodeling, and so that was what was being contemplated by the owner of the property.
Very good. Any questions or comments?
So there would no longer be commercial on the first floor, you mean?
That's what he was anticipating, is that the space was, he was having, it was a business decision on his part to convert the space to residential.
And
Thank you.
the applicant is not here, and I will now ask anyone in the audience if they wishes to come address the board on this matter. Seeing none, can I now take a motion to keep the public hearing open?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll keep the hearing open until the next regular town board meeting. I believe we don't have to call it up in a subsequent organizational meeting. Is that correct, Madam Attorney? We don't have to call this up until the next regular town board meeting? Thank you very much. Okay. All right, moving on. I will now...
Item number 19, authorizing the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the University of Rochester for an employee assistance program.
Motion? Moved. And a second?
Second.
Jason, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We would like to continue our relationship with the University of Rochester to apply to provide the employee assistance program to our staff here at Town Hall. They provide counseling free of charge to employees and their immediate family, as well as consulting our supervisors here on work-related issues.
Thank you. A very valued service. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. And before, Madam Clerk, we move on, I'll just note that the aforementioned public hearing will be called up on Tuesday, January 17th at our next regular town board meeting. Okay, moving on to item number 20, please.
Item number 20, authorizing the purchase of one 2017 Ford Taurus and the associated appropriation transfer within the 2016 Police Department budget.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Actually, I'll ask Chief for an explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This was put out to bid, and the lowest responsible bidder was Van Bortel Ford for the 2017 Ford Taurus Police Interceptor vehicle. It'll greatly assist in the infrastructure, if you will, and the appropriate staffing or equipment of the police fleet for our officers to be able to utilize.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments for Chief? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 21, authorizing the purchase of a license plate reader and the associated appropriation transfer within the 2016 Police Department budget.
Motion?
Move.
And a second.
Second.
Chief, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This piece of equipment is critical to various investigations that we conduct. It allows us to utilize this equipment on patrol vehicles, one patrol vehicle in particular, so that, if you will, while conducting missing person investigations or individuals that might be vulnerable, that data is entered into the Department of Motor Vehicle system, and this plate reader will identify those vehicles that might be operated by somebody that is missing or in need of assistance. We're fortunate to have a grant to help supplement this purchase from Senator Richard Funke's office, and this will be a great addition to the resources that we have here at the Police Department.
Thanks, Chief. And I don't know if I see it in the packet, but I just want to affirm this is a sole source contract.
That's correct. Sole source contract, and Vigilant is the vendor, and that is the only LPR unit that can be supported by the Monroe County Records Management System.
Very good, thank you. Any questions or comments for Chief? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 22, authorizing the purchase of cell phone forensic software and the associated appropriation transfer within the 2016 Police Department budget.
Need a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thanks, John. Chief, explanation, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Supervisor. This piece of equipment will greatly enhance the ability of our investigative staff to conduct investigations, especially, again, with those individuals that are missing or perhaps vulnerable and need additional assistance. It'll allow us the ability to track the usage of cell phones. In particular, though, that will be on a voluntary basis. And if certainly we needed to become more invasive in that technology, we would seek the approval from the court.
Thanks, Chief. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 23, calling for a public hearing on application by Frontier Telephone of Rochester, Inc. for a cable franchise agreement.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
This resolution would set a public hearing to take place at our next regular town board meeting, January 17th, 2016, a Tuesday. Frontier Telephone of Rochester, which is largely known for telephone and internet services, has an interest in providing cable services throughout New York State, including the greater Rochester area. As part of their application with the Public Service Commission, they have applied for cable franchise agreements with a number of local towns and villages and cities throughout the state, most of the municipalities in Monroe County included. I'll note this we're calling for public hearing for a cable franchise agreement that is different than the incumbent cable franchise agreement with Charter. As such, it's being scheduled 60 days from the application date, and there's a number of elements we look at in this, and I'll also note that in an upcoming meeting, I will likely be asking the board for a resolution approving us to engage in services of a outside firm to renegotiate our current cable franchise agreement with Charter, formerly known as Time Warner, and potentially this prospective cable franchise agreement. This will allow the public, the affected stakeholders, to chime in and provide feedback on the proposed cable franchise agreement, as well as asking for representatives from Frontier and availing themselves for questions from the board. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 24, approving this special event license for the American Red Cross to hold a blood drive at the Arundecoit Town Hall.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, this is the aforementioned blood drive, and everyone in this room will sign up after the meeting. We will not leave until we have all signed up. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. I'm now going to revert back to agenda item 8, but prior to that, I'm going to recognize Mr. Perticombe for a motion to introduce a local law.
I propose a local law pertaining to the interpretation of district boundaries under the town zoning code.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. And a copy of that local law, that proposed local law, is in your packets for review. This resolution would call. We will now actually take I'll accept a motion on agenda item number 8, or actually I will ask Madam Clerk to read the title of agenda item number 8.
Item number 8, calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend Town Code Chapter 235, Article 3, interpretation of district boundaries.
Okay, a motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thanks. And I will now recognize Ms. Ivers for an explanation.
Thank you, Supervisor. The proposed local law is amending Article 3 of our zoning code, which is a text amendment to the interpretation of district boundaries. The text amendment is needed to really clarify the zoning that applies to CSX, current and former CSX rail line parcels, to ensure that there's complete clarity about what the zoning is for those parcels. Right now, the language is not as clear as it could be, and so this is proposing to improve the language and remove any confusion or potential for misinterpretation.
Thank you. And as our planning and zoning administrator, Ms. Ivers, frequently points out, reasons why we probably need to take a look at our town zoning townwide, which I think is something we will explore in 2017, as fun a process as that will be, but certainly necessary. And this just shows this proposed local law is probably a good example of how we really need to take a complete, thorough look at all elements of our zoning in order to make it, at the very least, more practical. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. And unless I'm mistaken, and the clerk will point out if I'm mistaken, but this concludes the body of work for our regular town board meeting. Our next board meeting will be January 5th, 4 p.m. That will be a brief organizational meeting where we will take place some administrative early January procedures at the board. Our next workshop will be January 10th, 2017 at 4 p.m. Again, that's a Tuesday. And then the next regular town board meeting with several hearings will be Tuesday, January 17th, 2017 at 7 p.m. And on behalf of the board and the town, I just want to wish everyone a very happy holiday, a safe holiday with you and your family, and Godspeed. And if you're watching live, please drive safe wherever you go. I'll now take a motion to adjourn. And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Irondequoit's government access channel.